What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated, welterweight, superstar, title contender, the Phenom, as I call him, Jaron Boots Ennis. 30 wins, no loss, no draw, 27 big wins by way of knockout, 26 years of age, 5'10" with a 74-inch arm reach. He will be taking on Roiman Villa, who is welterweight, star, Colombian, title contender, who is 26 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 24 big wins by way of knockout, 30 years of age, 5'10" with a 70-inch arm reach. They'll face off against one another. They both was featured on a major card January 7th of this year. Both had 2 different outcomes, shockingly. Jaron Boots Ennis, he faced off against an opponent that many people thought Jaron Ennis was going to blow out the water and stop in Chua Karazin, okay? Karen Chua Kazin, who went into that fight undefeated, and he went to survive Jaron Boots Ennis. He won a unanimous decision victory. While Roiman Villa, he took on an opponent where he was the underdog against then undefeated welterweight star title contender Speedy Rashidi Ellis, to which they both had 2 different outcomes. Jaron Ennis was expected to blow out his opponent in victory in setting up a massive showdown with Rashidi Ellis. And Roiman Villa, he was in tough, where he was expected to lose to Rashidi Speedy Ellis, whom they were setting up a major fight between Rashidi Ellis and Jaron Boots Ennis. And with that said, Roiman Villa, he defeated Rashidi Ellis, dropping him twice in the last round and winning a majority decision victory. Where Jaron Ennis, he won a unanimous decision, but many people thought that Jaron Ennis was essentially revealed, exposed, or didn't live up to the hype in the fight. So with that said, that role led them to tonight, where they're going to have a massive show-off against one another tonight. And here's my final fight prediction. Roiman Villa was in the fight with Speedy Rashidi Ellis, who has similar intangibles to Jaron Boots Ennis. He has extremely fast hands. He's extremely athletic, has very fast feet, but he does not have the power, the versatility. Jaron Ennis is bigger than Rashidi Ellis. Jaron Ennis can fight southpaw or orthodox. Jaron Ennis has just as fast hands as Rashidi Ellis and fast feet, but he's bigger with more power and more strength. Roiman Villa, he was losing that fight to Rashidi Ellis on the cards, but then he came on strong in the second half of the fight, and he was putting a lot of physical and mental pressure on Rashidi Ellis. And as I told you guys, Rashidi Ellis in previous fights, he showed against Alexis Roca that in the second half of the fight, he started to fade, and he hasn't been that very active as of late. And in the fight, he won against Alexis Roca, who proved to be a viable opponent, who is now a welterweight title contender. He showed in that fight against Alexis Roca that he had vulnerabilities, especially in the second half. He started to fade. And so I stated that in that entire card that featured the headline in undefeated 3-division world champion, 5-time world champion, superstar boxer, Gervonta Tank Davis headlined his card against Hector Garcia in Washington, D.C. at the Capital One Arena. And with that said, I told you guys, if there was anybody that was going to get upset on that massive card, you had Tank Davis versus Hector Garcia. You had Boots versus Chua Karazin. You had Rashidi Ellis versus Roiman Villa. Then you also had Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, who was taking on Damon Nicholson. Okay? Massive card. Massive names on that card. It was supposed to also feature Lamont and Anthony Peterson on that undercard as well. Massive card. And I was asked if anybody was to get upset in that night. I said it was going to be Rashidi Ellis with Roiman Villa, because Roiman Villa is very, very aggressive. He's a pressure fighter that comes forward, puts a lot of physical and mental pressure on his opponents. He has a sturdy granite chin. He's very active, okay? And with that said, I stated that Rashidi Ellis showed the most vulnerabilities out of all the guys on that card. and he would fade in the second half, and Roiman Villa would catch up to him and possibly stop him. He almost stopped him, had 2 knockdowns in the last round, but they ran out of time. And so I was right. So with that said, styles make fights. Jaron boots Ennis, well, he's not going to fade in the second half of the fight. Jaron boots Ennis, he's going to put on a dazzling performance. He doesn't have stamina issues. Jaron boots Ennis is more consistent than Rashidi Ellis, and he has a lot more power than Rashidi Ellis, which means he's going to freeze Roiman Villa as he attempts to be aggressive, and then Roiman Villa is going to be rendered inactive. And what Rashidi Ellis couldn't capitalize on consistently enough over the course of the fight, Jaron boots Ennis will be able to do. He's going to change levels. His hand speed and his power is going to start to affect Roiman Villa, and he's going to not be as active as he was and walk through the punches of Jaron boots Ennis. Now, Jaron boots Ennis also has a massive chip on his shoulder because, again, people started to say that Jaron boots Ennis didn't live up to the hype. They started to say Jaron boots Ennis was exposed in that fight. He was revealed, and that he's overrated. Jaron boots Ennis, he has a chip on his shoulder. Jaron boots Ennis wants to prove a point tonight, and he has the perfect opponent in front of him to put on that dazzling performance. And there's big opportunities for Jaron Ennis moving forward. As we know, there's a fight lying ahead, possibly with former unified welterweight world champion, superstar boxer Keith one-time Thurman, who is 30 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 22 wins by way of knockout, 34 years of age, 5'8", with a 69-inch arm reach. He held the WBC and WBA welterweight unified titles. That fight could be lying ahead, as Keith Thurman stated that should he be victorious in his fight, which looks to take place in August, versus former WBA welterweight world champion Cuban star boxer Yordenis Ugas, that he would look for a fight with Vergil Ortiz or Jaron boots Ennis. Vergil Ortiz is an undefeated welterweight Mexican superstar title contender with 19 wins, no loss, no draw, 19 wins by way of knockout. He is 25 years of age at 5'10" with a 70-inch arm reach. He was also slated to fight tonight against the undefeated WBA regular welterweight world champion Lithuanian star boxer in Ennis Stanionis. But this was the 3rd time their fight had got canceled because Vergil Ortiz Jr. just simply can't make the weight. He fainted just a day before the weigh-in, had to be hospitalized, and that fight had to be postponed and canceled. So that means Vergil Ortiz is moving up now, according to his team and his promoter, Oscar De La Hoya. He's going to be moving up to 154 pounds. So that eliminates him as a possible opponent next for Keith one-time Thurman. That means should Jaron Ennis win this fight, well, that's the fight that Keith Thurman will be looking to have, unless Keith Thurman is looking to face off against Ennis Stanionis himself for that WBA regular title. And there's a major undisputed welterweight mega showdown July 29th between the 2 world champions in the division, top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Bud Crawford. So that's going to take place July 29th for undisputed, both which are expected to vacate the titles whomever wins and have a rematch at 154. So opportunities lie. But getting to this fight itself, Jaron Ennis' hand speed, his foot speed, his accuracy, and his power is going to be too much for Roiman Villa, who has issues with defense. He's not the most defensively savvy guy. He's not the most athletic, explosive guy. He's tough. He's consistent. He's aggressive. He has power. But that won't affect Jaron Ennis, as Jaron Ennis will ultimately be able to see Roiman Villa's punches coming, unless Jaron Ennis simply decides to make a decision to just stand toe-to-toe and just exchange and go to war with Roiman Villa. He's going to eliminate the possibilities of Roiman Villa being able to capitalize and hit him cleanly. Not saying that he won't touch Jaron boots Ennis, because I'm sure he will. This is a boxing match and he is a professional. But Jaron boots Ennis most likely will be swimming without getting wet. He'll be able to see Roiman Villa's punches coming just like Rashidi Ellis did, but he won't fade in the second half, and he has way more power. So that's going to have more of an effect on Roiman Villa as the rounds play out. So I believe that Jaron boots Ennis by the 7th round he'll stop Roman Villa tonight and make a statement as people started to claim that he was overrated. He's going to reclaim that fact that people feel like he is the new face. He's going to be the face in the future of the sport of boxing. So with that said, I just think that it's going to be exciting. I think that Jaron Boots Ennis is just going to put on a dazzling performance tonight. And he's going to win a 7th round knockout victory, stoppage victory. That's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. I'm gone. Peace.